Thank you for joining us as we celebrate.
I think we're going to add folks up here.
Awesome. We celebrate really a truly important day for the City of St. Paul and the St. Paul Fire Department. I'm Butch Inks, and I'm honored to serve as your fire chief. We're honored to have Mayor Carter here with us and members of the City Council, as well as community members, business owners, and just residents of the neighborhood. So thank you all for coming and being here today. Today we officially reopened Fire Station 3, a station that's been part of this community for generations. 15 years ago, Station 3 closed its doors as an active firehouse. And since then, this building has never stopped serving. It became home to our EMS Academy and our BLS Division as Station 51, and most recently opened its doors to support our unsheltered neighbors during the COVID-19 pandemic. And even without rigs in the bay, this building has continued its mission of service. And now, after a major renovation, Station 3 is back, and better than ever. And it proudly returns the 16th fire station to our department. This firehouse strengthens one of the busiest business and entertainment corridors in the city. It's home to Engine 3, Medic 34, and our CARES team. And it's a powerful and much-needed addition to this area of the City of St. Paul. And I'm proud to share that as of December 1st, the crews have already moved in and are responding to emergencies right now from this station. The community is already benefiting from this investment. We extend our deep appreciation to Mayor Carter and our City Council members for supporting this project to seeing it through. Your leadership and commitment to public safety made this moment possible. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. When I reflect on my career with the St. Paul Fire Department, which literally began here as my first shift over 31 years ago, was at this station. The very first run I ever went on was out of this house. And since then, I've seen a great deal of change. The most significant is the tremendous increase in demand placed on our first responders. Our firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, and our administrative support staff are shouldering more than they ever have before. And still, this organization answers every call. But the challenge has become not only how we add resources, but where we can place them. Because we were literally out of space. I often would meet with firefighters on the street, and I would meet with the retired firefighters, and I'd tell them how busy we are, and everyone would say we need more resources. And I would ask the question, well, where are we going to put them? We're literally responding out of an alley in some of our stations. And it's because of this station, Station 7, and the commitment that you have made to this fire department that we now have physical space. We can add resources. So I'm just deeply grateful and honored that you and the council supported every step of this. So I want to extend a special thank you to Jill Lacoste, managing this project and trying to keep finding money for us to keep this project going. Your dedication, your commitment to the fire department and the city it needs to be recognized, and I thank you so much for everything you do. Everyone else who played a huge role in this project, I'm not even going to try to list them all, but you know who you are. This was, I guess in the project world, this was a super challenging project from start to finish. I had the easy part. I had to find some money and come to Mayor Carter and the council and make a pitch, and they were all in from day one, and then everyone else made it happen. So I'm extremely grateful and appreciative of everything you've done to make this happen today. So this house is ready for you and to us to usher in a new era with our leadership and our teamwork. And so it's with that I'd like to invite Mayor Carter to come up. And before I do that, I really want to extend a special thank you to you. I've worked with you since day one of your first term, and you've supported this fire department from day one, and the changes and the improvements we've been able to make through your leadership is really incredible. So thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
I only want to say two things, but I'll warn you, it's like 2A, B, C,
Number two, item A, point one. I am proud of the investments we're making in our fire department. Today's an important day for St. Paul. Today's an important day for West 7th, but one of the things you learn really fast is this whole thing is a system. This whole system has to work together. So to have better service like we just planted right now on West 7th means better service citywide, because if someone else has to come from a different part of the city to come here, then that means a service hole kind of somewhere else. And in truth, the whole city is like that. Across our departments, our word of the day for the last, 5 or 6 years, our word of the year in our administration has been enterprise. To just remind us always that we all have to work together to create a total that's greater than the sum of its parts. I'm proud of the investment that we've made in the fire department, whether that's this new station, whether that's the reinvestment in Station 7, whether that's new rigs, new technology, the ways that we've approached just saunas in buildings to make sure that we're protecting our firefighters from the enhanced cancer risk that we see all over the country. That's really important. But let me tell you, even more important than those new investments is the new thinking, the new technology, the new approaches to the work. When you look at a department that has embraced a BLS service model to say we can hire young people and residents and women and people of color from our community to help respond to those lower acuity calls for medical services, that we can do that and we can provide full parity in employment parity and employment benefits for those BLS folks, that's something we can do together. When you look at a department that embraces the power rigs to say, look, we can learn how to surge our capacity during peak hours so that we can provide better services for folks at an efficient kind of cost efficiency. When you look at a department that's able to look at new ways to approach the task, that's really critical. One of the things that I've learned as mayor is the biggest threat to the future of our city is how much I liked the city I grew up in. The biggest threat to the changes that we ought to make oftentimes ends up being our comfort level with the way things are right now, with the way things we're used to things being. Even sometimes things that we don't actually love, but we're comfortable with them. And so I want to say, I tell folks all the time that we have in St. Paul the most innovative fire department on the planet. And that's not because of me. And I know the chief would say that's not even just because of him. That's because of the character, the work ethic, of the discipline, of the diligence, and the spirit of service that embodies every single person who wears this uniform. And that's something that we all literally sleep better at night to know that our firefighters that this department is here for us. So I'm excited to be here. I appreciate this. We're cutting a ribbon. This is the second time this year we've cut a ribbon on a brand new fire station. That's a good trend that we ought to keep going, because this is a community that deserves the incredible brilliance that exists within every member of the St. Paul Fire Department. And so I want to say thank you. Please give a round of applause for our firefighters who are here. Even our firefighters, just look at somebody else in uniform and clap for them. The final thing I want to say is this. I told folks when I first came in office, and I've said for 8 years, my only complaints about this job is that it didn't come with the magic wand I expected it to come with. That even as mayor of the city, you have to work for folks. You have to have great partners to do the work. I'm really proud of the partnership that we've had with the City Council. Thank you, Council President Naker, for your work and all the work that you've done, because I can want a new fire station, but we can't pay for one without the City Council. So we appreciate you guys' partnership to make this and all those types of investments. I didn't even mention the state's first 2 fully electric fire rigs. That's an exciting thing for us on a whole bunch of levels. Anybody who wants to nerd out about the benefits and advantages of an electric fire truck, just see me after the event, and we can talk about all those things. But I have to say in this space, a big thank you to you, Chief Inks. Your leadership, your courage, your bravery, your willingness to take on new problems with a new frame, your guidance of me, the way you've taught me about this profession or about this department, and your championship for the men and women who serve in this uniform every single day is impressed upon me every day. And I'll never forget the way that you serve this department and you serve this community with integrity. You are, in very many ways, the success model of what we hope for this community, a young person who grew up in this community, who played in our rec centers and then worked in our rec centers and then worked in our fire department and worked your way up to become the fire chief. That's the model for why we've built all the workforce pathways and all the things that we've built into Parks and Rec and the enterprise spirit that we try to embody. So without further ado, I'd like to just issue this proclamation. And we'll get out of your way. Come join me here, please, at the microphone. Would you please, Chief?
Yes, sir.
It says, whereas Chief Barton Butch Inks has dedicated 40 years of service to the city of St. Paul, starting out in a city youth employment program, advancing through the ranks of Parks and Recreation, and then joining the St. Paul Fire Department in 1994, culminating in his appointment as fire chief in November 2019. And whereas Chief Inks has combined his public service as fire chief with service to our country, having served 26 honorable years in the United States Air Force, bringing a lifetime of discipline, dedication, and commitment to his role. And whereas under his leadership, the St. Paul Fire Department has undergone historic transformation, strengthening readiness, expanding staffing, modernizing equipment, and building community trust, all aligned with our Community First public safety strategy. And whereas Chief Inks has advanced numerous innovations in first responder health and wellness, including peer support to address mental health and stress, physical exams, and cardiac screenings. And whereas during his tenure as chief, the St. Paul Fire Department has expanded staffing to its highest levels in history, created new career and EMS pathways to attract the talents of our young people, and strengthen the future of fire and emergency services in St. Paul. And whereas Chief Inks has always led with a firefighter first mindset, the same mindset he carried on his first day in the St. Paul Fire Department, never asking a firefighter to do anything he wouldn't do himself, and grounding every decision in the realities of the job and the well-being of the people who perform it. And whereas Chief Inks built his leadership on one simple yet profound truth, behind every first responder is a human being, shaping a 21st century fire department culture that centers well-being and humanity above all. Now, therefore, I, Melvin Carter, Mayor of the City of St. Paul, do hereby proclaim December 9th, 2025 to be Chief Barton Butch Inks Day in the City of St. Paul. Congratulations. So happy Butch Inks Day, everybody. Let's cut a ribbon.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.